And we're back. So now it's time to go ahead and add our movie stars into our poster here. I already have my two images set up here, which is this one and this one. So as you can see, they both have backgrounds. So we need to go ahead and remove the backgrounds from our images. And we could do that in Synfig, but that will take a bit of time. So what I'm going to recommend is that we use one of those websites that allows us to remove the background fairly easily. And I already have one set up here, so I'll be posting this link in the description, so make sure to look there for it. And the way this works is that we can just drag and drop our image and it will do its thing, and there we have the background removed. So we can take a look at the before and the after, and that is looking fairly good to me. I'm just going to click on the after and I'm going to click on download. And we'll just take the standard resolution here, which is 1280 by 1280. I think that should be okay. And it downloads it. So let's go ahead and remove that one. And I'm going to take my second image here and it will do the same. And I'm just going to download that one. Okay, so we have that set up. Let's go back into Synfig here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag and drop my image one by one. So let me just drag and drop this one here. And this is looking really great. Let me just scale it down a bit and just move this out of the way. And I'm gonna drag and drop the next image here. Okay, so we're gonna set them up similar to the actual movie poster. Notice that they're both facing the same direction. So I'm going to turn this one the other way. And a very easy way to do that is by selecting the scale tool here, and in the X coordinate you just want to type a minus value and press enter twice. So let's go ahead and set this up, shall we? And I think I'm going to have this guy below this guy there, because I'm liking the design of the shirt here. So let's just go ahead and adjust this and place them where they need to be. So let me just select these. Okay, and they should be somewhere here, using my navigator here. Okay, I'm liking that. So if we take a look back at the Bad Boys poster here, we can see how this is set up. His hand is over the O, and for this one the handcuff is over the Y, right? So some elements of them is in the forefront while other elements is in the background. That's something that we'll have to figure out how we're going to do. Okay, so let me just make sure that they are in the location that I want. Make a bit more alterations here, maybe move them over a bit like so, something like there. So I'm going to put these two into a group and I'm going to call them action stars. Let me see here. So I'm just going to go ahead and right click canvas here, export. So we're going to isolate them so we can edit them on their own. And I'm just going to call these guys action star. Okay, there we go. Let me save again just to make sure. And I'm going to go here to my canvas browser and double click on action stars. Let's go ahead and do what we need to do. I'm going to be taking out some of the light here, or maybe I can utilize the light in this guys here. So let me just show you a really cool trick. We can actually remove the light, and for that let me utilize the polygon tool. I'm just going to draw over his hair here fairly roughly, something like that. And I am going to, let me go into my parameters panel here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from onto to multiply, and there we have it. But now it's too dark, so let me come back up a bit, maybe somewhere between gray and black, so we can kill the lights completely, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to bring it somewhere here, and actually I'm going to use this to maybe change the lighting in his hair. So what we can do is pretend like the lights from here is highlighting his hair. So this is yellow. Well, pretty much whatever color this is, we could make it reflect in his hair here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to change this to a yellow like that. Now to remove any of the harsh edges, what I want to do is feather that out. So I'm going to place this to maybe 40, right? And now we can see even the light is pushing outwards to the bandana on his hair. And if I go back, we can see that. Okay, and we can pretty much do the same thing for this guy here. Let's look at what we have, and voila. So now that we have that all set up, let me get these out of the way by closing those. And I'm just going back and forth to look at what we have. Let me tackle our issue here of getting some of these elements behind and getting some of them in front. So let me close up all of my folders here, and I'm just going to press Ctrl S to make sure that I have everything saved. What we want to do is, notice in the poster here we have some of the actors' elements above the text while the rest of their bodies are behind the text. So we want to set up something similar to that, right? So let me move this out of the way here and see how best we can do that. An issue here is that we grouped the text along with the rectangle bars here. So I mean, it would be easier if we had them separate so that we could place them wherever we want, but we already went ahead and did this. So what I'm thinking is that we could maybe duplicate this text and put one above these guys and one below. Let me go ahead and go to guys here, and I am going to place this above our stars here. I'm going to duplicate it, so copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So now we have two, and I'm going to call this rect guys under, and I'm going to call this rect guys over. So this one will be on top and this one will be beneath. So I'm actually going to move this one back underneath our actors there. Then I am going to turn this off. Now there are several ways that we can do this, but this is just the way that I've chosen to do it. So the first thing that we want to do is get rid of the rectangles here. So I'm just going to open up this one here, which is the one on top, and if I should turn off both rectangles here, the ones underneath has also been turned off, and that is because we created a canvas out of this, so they are now linked. So what I am going to do is I'm going to turn off this one under so that I can focus on this one. I'm just going to use my masking tool here, and yours will be the scissor looking tool, and I'm just going to click on that, make sure that I have this one selected, and then I'm going to mask out the text here. Don't worry if you make a mistake here, you can always go back and adjust. Let me open up this one, select my mask. I'm just going to zoom in to make sure that everything is fine, and just make sure that my mask is around the text. So let me close this up, let me zoom out, and then let me turn on back the one underneath. Now we have one with the rectangles and one without the rectangles. So I'm going to hide the one underneath, go back here, and what I'm going to do is now I'm going to turn down the opacity to maybe 0.5 on this text, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to mask out some of the text. So let's go ahead and do that right now, shall we? Let me zoom in here, and again on the text layer here, we're just going to, I'm going to be using the spline tool, so I'm going to select that. So I'm just going to spend some time here, and I'm zooming in, and I'm just going to go around his hand, take some time. So I will fast forward to the end. Okay, so as you can see here, I am almost done and I'm at the end here. I'm just going to right click on the origin point here and click on loop spline to accept that. So if I zoom here, zoom out, you can see this, my selection area there, right? And now I'm just going to press the enter key on my keyboard, and what I want to do here is I want to group the text that I just masked as well as my new mask here. So I'm going to hold on shift and select both of those, press Ctrl G to group them, right? And that's because I'm going to be doing something with this mask that I don't want to affect the rest of my layers. I only want the mask to affect this here underneath it. So with the mask selected here, go to the parameters properties or the parameters window, and then I'm going to change the blend method here to alpha over to cut out that area of the text. So if I zoom out here, we can see what's happening like so. And if I should increase back the text here, which is this one, let me go inside here, increase this back to 1, can see what's happening there, right? So now this hand is above the text there, but I can see that I've cut out a part of this text right there. So to fix that, we can just go back to the mask and we can just make some adjustments here. So I'm going to just move this down here, and let me just move this point down here. And I think I'm going to have to add some more points. I'm going to right click, insert item, and keep shape. So we have more points like that. And I'm just going to create a shape around the arms of the glass, or the glasses right here. We're now done with that. Let me save again just to make sure everything's okay, and let me zoom out here. Okay, so we are now done with that one, and I'm going to do the same for this guy's hand here. So let me just close all of these up, and it's always good to rename your layers so you know that you know what layer you're on whenever you're on that particular layer. So I'm going to come inside here, zoom in. I'm going to lower the opacity of this one, 0.4, and let's go ahead and create another mask. So let me just select this mask here, so that whenever I begin, it will begin on top of that. So select my mask tool. Well, let me select my spline tool, and we'll pretty much do the same thing here. So we're done with that, and I'm just going to press enter, and I'm going to change this to alpha over and see what we have. Okay, and that is looking good to me. So now we can select this one here and increase the opacity back to 1, and we are now good. So make sure that I save again and zoom out here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on back the text underneath. Another thing that we have to look out for is that if you take note of here, we can see their bodies underneath these two texts here, or these two letters here. In order to do that, what we can do is, right, based on how we already set this up, we can cut out these two letters and then lower the opacity for those. Let me select this one here, and let me turn that off so that I don't get confused. And for this one, let me just rename this to guys. Let me actually mask this out. So I'm going to mask out the U and the Y. It's going to draw over these two letters here. Like that. Now that we have that, we can turn on the one that is underneath, like so, and now we only have U and Y above. So with this one now, I can just lower the opacity so that we're able to see our actors underneath. So opacity 0.6, and that's way too light, so let me put it at maybe 0.7 or maybe 0.8. I don't want it to be too transparent. We leave it at that. It's only because of the colors that we chose why it's not really showing up all that well, but yeah, we're able to see them through the text, so that is great right there. And this is where we will end. Now this poster is not done, right? There are still a whole bunch of stuff that we could do, such as change the color scheme. So for right now, I don't think the colors work well together, and also add some effects, maybe some noise and stuff like that to enhance the overall image. So now it's time for you to take this very concept and create something far superior to what I have here. So I hope you enjoyed this series, and I will see you in the next video or in the next set of tutorials.